Superpowers are just in the movies and comics, right? While most of us mere mortals don't have super strength and green skin or lightning bolts for eyes, there are some gifted humans hiding amongst us. Blessed with some strange and sometimes paranormal abilities, these magical mutants can mystify us with their unique talents. Is it genetic evolution or exposure to radioactive waste? Whatever it is, the X-Men are here. Ready to meet the superhumans that live among us? Let's get it on! Etibar Elchiev. Given enough time, there was bound to be someone close to the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown who exhibited a phenomenal ability. Meet Etibar Elchiev from Georgia. His day job is training aspiring kickboxers, but in his spare time, he practices breaking his own world record. This man has the unique ability to attract metal to his body, having nothing to do with his not-so-magnetic personality either. Dubbed the Human Magnet, he's able to hold 53 spoons onto his chest and back. Becoming the world record holder was his initial dream, but now he has his sights set on something bigger. He's pulled a Mercedes along the road with a metal plate on his back. Who knows? In a few decades' time, with some intensive training, we might see this guy twisting and manipulating metal at will. Wim Hof. Many people have claimed to be able to control their body temperature over the course of history, but few have put it to the test to the degree that Wim Hof has. The Iceman has climbed Mount Everest and Mount Kilimanjaro barefoot, with just a pair of shorts to be able to record it all. In fact, he holds over 24 world records for surviving in conditions that would prove fatally cold for other mere mortals. Using Tibetan time-style meditation, Hof is able to shut off activity in his mind and redirect his energy into keeping his body heat constant. This ability also works with extreme heat, as incredibly, he ran a full marathon in the Namib desert without food, water, or change in his core temperature. Proof that power of the mind and body is far beyond scientific understanding. Kevin Richardson. Dr. Dolittle could talk with the animals. Tarzan was raised in the jungle by apes. Is it too far-fetched to believe that someone like this can exist in the modern era? South African Kevin Richardson is proof that some people possess a natural affinity for understanding and communicating with animals. Move over, Crazy Joe Exotic. This guy is the true Tiger King, and he's against raising cubs in captivity just for tourists to pat. Richardson is the real-life lion whisperer and has been accepted by a wild pride of lions in the Dino King Game Reserve in Pretoria. He rolls around on the ground wrestling with his lion buddies and joins them for a good roaring session on all fours. He has a wife and family, but once he sets foot on the savannah grass, he becomes one of the pride.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. Oh, wow.
Dean Karnazes. Imagine if you could just run forever. Well, one man can, Dean Karnazes. He's run 50 marathons in 50 days and completed a trek of 350 miles in 80 hours and 44 minutes without needing to stop for sleep or rest. He even ran a marathon in the South Pole in temperatures of -13 degrees Fahrenheit. For those who don't know, lactic acid is responsible for muscle soreness, tightness, and the feeling of legs as heavy as lead after a long session of training. It's produced as a byproduct of converting blood sugar into energy. Cramps and fatigue signal to the brain that it's time to stop, but Karnazes never receives these signals, giving him the ability to run almost indefinitely due to his body's extremely rare ability to rapidly filter lactic acid out of his muscles. Jamie Keaton. Jamie Canhead Keaton is known as the human suction cup. For some bizarre reason, an undiagnosable skin condition turns his pores into something more closely resembling the properties of the suckers on an octopus's leg. He can stick cans, bottles, and even random objects like smartphones and house keys to his head and body. After shaving his head on a hot summer's day, he stumbled upon this weird superpower by accident after rubbing a soda can on his head to try and cool down from the midday sun. He's made a full-time career out of entertaining people, with beverage companies paying him to pour drinks out of bottles stuck to his head. Celebrities stopped to take happy snaps with him all the time, and at one NASCAR event, he posed in an astonishing 80,000 photos with fans.
Pull it. Use both hands if you have to.
Troy James. Troy James is not your average contortionist. There are few people on Earth more terrifying than this man, rising up from an inanimate pile of crumbled up limbs only to run and leap towards you like something straight out of your worst nightmare. James is double-jointed and extremely flexible, able to force and twist his body into unnatural positions. It's more terrifying as his whole demeanor and behavior undergoes a monstrous transformation. His one-of-a-kind posture has served him well in his various roles in sci-fi horror TV series and films. He's also performed on Australia's Got Talent, abducting one of the judges. His human spider routine caused the judge to let out a blood-curdling scream as James crawled up over his body, and it's safe to say he wouldn't have had much sleep that night. Jerry Michalek. In the Wild West, it was the quick and the dead. Draw fast, aim true, and you might just survive long enough to see the sunrise on another day. Jerry Michalek is a throwback to a bygone era. He's a professional sharpshooter closely resembling Deadshot, who's won numerous national titles and shattered multiple world records. He can fan the hammer at a speed faster than the human eye. His skill with a revolver is arguably unmatched by anyone who has ever lived. It takes a little over half a second for him to hit a target with 5 shots, 1 second with 8 shots, 3 seconds with 6 shots, a reload, and another 6 shots. The footage looks almost like it's been faked or doctored and gives a new meaning to the phrase "the hand is faster than the eye." Eskil Roningsbakken. High wire acts aren't news, as performers have been showcasing their control and balance for centuries. What Eskil Roningsbakken is able to do is a whole different ballgame, and goes beyond what you've seen in the circus big top. The Norwegian has perhaps the best sense of balance in the world, but sees his demonstrations as art and not just mere stunts. Some of his notable feats have to be seen to be believed, like balancing on a single ice cube measuring 2 square feet, supported on each end, ropes suspended 1,000 feet above a glacier, or riding a bicycle upside down on his head using his hands to pedal across a tightrope between 2 cliffs. Although he doesn't possess fear, he does have a natural sense of self-preservation, an important trait when you live life on the edge. Ho Eng Hui. Sometimes it's a case of mind over matter. For Ho Eng Hui, a lifetime of training in the martial art of Qigong aligned his body, breath, and mind, and has given him a crazily powerful and resilient finger. This guy's able to punch his finger clean through a green coconut and pour the juice straight into your pina colada. Hui has a permanent spot on the streets of Malaysia where he performs for tourists, joking that his finger provides a living for his family. He's continuously broken his own Guinness World Record and can currently pierce 4 coconuts in a shade over 12 seconds. Just imagine what this gnarled finger could do to a human skull. It could pop it like a water balloon. Best to stay on his good side. Stig Severinsen. Human being or aquatic sea mammal? You be the judge. Stig Severinsen has more than earned his nickname as the man who doesn't breathe by using a state of zen to control his breathing underwater. He's able to spend 22 minutes submerged stationary in water. To put this into perspective, a regular person can only hold their breath for between 30 seconds and 2 minutes before beginning to take in water and eventually drowning. He holds the record for the world's longest underwater swim, traveling an astounding 500 feet under a frozen lake without breathing apparatus, wearing flippers and a wetsuit. He took things up a notch the following day by swimming 250 feet in just his trunks. Scientists have studied Severinsen, remarking that he has almost triple the lung capacity of a person. We say his mother was a dolphin.
And swims, on just one breath, 150 meters.